Interesting conversations with interesting people. You don't know them at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. This is You Don't Know Them. Interesting conversations with interesting people. My name is Ryan Ehresman. I am your co-host to Matt Lawson here joining me. And today on our show, we have Jon Atkinson. Our old friend Jon Atkinson will be joining us for our very first conversation. You don't know them. Interesting conversations with interesting people.
Oh, there he is.
Very
Harney.
good.
Harney Kushni, my friends.
Harney Kushni to you, too.
Harney Kushni, indeed. Yes.
It's been years. Years and years.
It's been a millennia.
Since I even heard your voice, actually.
Mm-hmm. I think we had a very brief conversation 2 years ago.
Wow.
But
you're good. You know, nothing's changed, though, because that intro that you made still puts me into a trance, much like the songs that you've done in the past.
For the people out there, for those, because you don't know them,
for our listeners that don't exist yet,
right? but like, you guys, you graduated in the same year. Was it 03 or 04? Am I right about that?
2003, same as you.
Okay, very good.
2003. Good. Yeah, my maturity level hasn't actually changed at all. So
that's awesome. Good.
Yeah,
that gives me hope then. Yeah, you've been. When did you get married, Jon?
Well, as a matter of fact, I've been married twice. So,
oh, really? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I was married pretty soon out of college, and then that didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm married, and it's wonderful.
Good.
It's really wonderful. It all, everything happens for a reason. But yeah, I can't complain. I'm living my best life now.
In Minneapolis, Minnesota, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's cold here. Have you guys ever been here?
No, I have not.
Besides driving through the southern part of the state, no, I've never.
Oh.
I've always wanted to.
It's a cool city, and it's really cool to visit in the summer, but we have like 10 months of winter, and it's been like -14 for the last week. So, it gets pretty cold here.
Yeah.
It's pretty cold.
Yeah, right now in the greater Seattle area, we are having snow for the first day of the winter right now, actually, and we're going to have a low of 31 degrees tomorrow, and people are freaking out. It is hilarious. It's such a temperate climate out here where if it's 85 in the summer, everybody's losing their shit, and if it gets anywhere close to freezing, the world is ending. So that's quite entertaining from someone from Indiana, where I know you guys are getting hammered with the cold weather right now.
Yeah.
So Ryan, where are you?
I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Chicago, Kentucky.
Right.
Those two always get confused.
Absolutely.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Chicago, Idaho as well. That actually sounds about right. Anyway,
they have good beef there. Very good beef there.
Yeah.
They're known for their beef in Chicago, Idaho.
Well, yes. Less potatoes, more beef. But no, I've been here since 2009. I took a break. And lived in both Colorado and Indiana for a matter of about 2 years, 2 years, and then came back here actually. So I have been to Ely, Minnesota, and spent time up in Boundary Waters, Jon. And, so no, there is a lot of beauty to be had in Minnesota. I did that with my Boy Scout troop before I had hit Eagle. So yeah, I was in high school when we did it. Definitely cool. Definitely beautiful area, man.
That's cool.
I've heard in Minneapolis during the winter, everything is tunnels. Like there's a whole infrastructure to where you don't necessarily have to walk around downtown outside in the elements. Is that correct or?
Yeah, they call it the Skyway. So you just walk. Everything is like these elevated, enclosed sidewalks that lead to every building, pretty much, and it's a whole maze. It's a real maze. I don't think I've been through all of it because it's pretty long, but it's cool.
That makes it livable right there.
Yeah,
like if there's something to keep you out of the elements in any kind of fashion.
That's cool, and they got a good music scene here too. It's a cool place. It's a cool city.
Well, it's known for its progressive politics. There's a really good economy going there. A lot of people will consider it, almost like a liberal utopia for the Midwest.
Yeah. Yeah, usually everything around us is hitting red and we're always blue. So yeah.
Has it been a harder place to live in during this past year in comparison to years you've
the George Floyd, are you referencing that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was rough. That was rough on several levels, but I think the city's really bounced back from that, and there's a lot that was learned. But that was an insane time. I mean, you have COVID going on. We're in quarantine for that, and then also that happened, and we were having there was so many riots going on, and so we'd have a curfew. Everybody had to be back in their apartments or homes by like 7:00 at night. So it was pretty intense. Yeah. There was always we'd hear helicopters flying over, and I mean,
are you in Minneapolis? You in the suburbs? Where are you located?
So
give us your address. So
okay, I was in Minneapolis, and I had just recently moved. I moved to a house in the suburbs.
Moving on up.
I don't know. But I do have a dog and 2 cats. So it's really like a zoo here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how old is your son?
He's 11.
Wow. My
yeah.
goodness. And what's his name again?
Caden.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
What was Oral Roberts like going? And by the way, John, all this information that I know about is from your Facebook. But,
good.
And for those of you who are not familiar with Oral Roberts University, it is the Christian university to go to.
How many hours do we got?
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you all about Oral Roberts.
Oh, wow.
That place was nuts.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'll have to give you a little brief history about me. I grew up in a really religious home. So that kind of set the tone for me going into Oral Roberts. But from there, oh man, that place was super nuts. I mean, people were crazy there. Crazy. It was another level. It was almost like we're talking about people getting slain in the spirit, falling down, shaking, and then they're saying that certain people couldn't get on campus. It was a dry campus. It was you had to wear a shirt and tie for a while. I think that was always the case. You always had to wear a shirt and tie. Wow. And your hair couldn't be cut or couldn't be too long. Couldn't go to your shoulders. And the only facial hair that you could have, which that's why now I grew a beard, but you could only have a mustache. So we had fun with that, and we grew mustaches. But
so your experience at the church wasn't one that you saw, people getting another level, like you said, and people throwing themselves onto the ground and really having a visceral experience with the Lord, per se. You never
Yeah.
saw that in your original church at all.
Oh
You
yeah,
were
he
raised around
did.
that.
Oh yeah.
No, I did. I did.
No,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We were very worrisome of the English Lake. You know, I mean, it was a non-denominational. Just they were out there, and of course, I shared that religious fervor with John, and that was one of our cornerstones of our friendship early on. We liked the Jesus.
You know, it's so. I mean, so much has changed. You know, I really changed from the Oral Roberts experience, where you think you come out more religious, and now I'm not at all. So,
Mhm.
Wow.
yeah, you know, it was like anything. I don't really regret going. I think I learned a lot, but it was, gosh, what a place.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, like you said right in the beginning, everything happens for a reason. You know, there was a reason for you to be there. And
Yeah.
it's made you the person that you are today. The interesting thought, or the train of thought that I go into when I think of that, is what your perspective is. Isn't it mind-boggling to just see the religious extremist being so far right for the last 4 years, worshiping this dude who is literally I mean, from having that biblical religious background, he is the golden calf. I remember our obsession in high school of the second coming of Christ and the rapture, and, you know, Left Behind, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is the Antichrist. I mean, it's
I mean, what better person to show their ass with than Donald Trump? I mean, to say that, oh, he's a religious guy. I mean, like, you heard that. I mean, people would say, oh, he's a good Christian man or something. I mean, it just goes to show how they'll say whatever or do whatever to make it fit for a political reason or whatnot. I don't know.
yeah. Or maybe they want that second coming so bad that they're just inching it on themselves.
Right.
I mean, the guy led with grab her by the pussy. I don't know what mental gymnastics you have to jump through to be like, oh yeah, he's a good-hearted Christian just like myself.
Right. But you see that everywhere. I mean, people will vote for a guy that only cares about rich people, and they're barely making any ends meet. So it's like, who knows why people do that? I don't get it. I understand it as about as much as I understand chemistry. So,
yeah. so what you're saying is you're an expert.
Right.
I wanted to introduce you as Icelandic's number 3rd philosopher on medieval conservatism, something like that.
That's actually perfect. That's a perfect description of me right now.
Yeah.
You know,
I think so.
It's funny you mention that, because I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you guys are getting into these days. So, what do you guys got a hobby or something? But, you know, I've been working from home since this whole COVID thing started, and I kind of got into this guy called Wim Hof. Have you heard of this guy?
Yes, I do his breathing treatment, and I've done it for about the last year. I have not got into the cold, but
Yeah.
let's Wim Hof it up, man.
Yeah. So I've been doing this breathing. My wife thinks I'm about to join a cult. She thinks it's really weird. But this guy, you take these deep breaths, and then it like really, it changes you. And he's all about like taking these cold showers or immersing yourself in cold. And it really, you know, at first it's like, wow, I always took really hot showers, but man, a cold shower is really actually horrible. But at the end, it's really nice.
Yeah,
Really nice.
The amount of energy that you get from it. To give a little context to this, because Ryan, are you familiar at all with Wim Hof?
No.
WIMHOF. And he has so many followers. You can find there's a good Russell Brand interview. He has a TED Talk where he talks about all of the stuff. But essentially, his core belief is that man has strayed away from nature, and that if we are presented in nature and we're able to go into the elements without like having a bunch of clothes and stuff on, and going with this breathing treatment that he does, where essentially you can do 3 rounds, you can do 5 rounds, but you are really deep inhales, really deep exhales, but it's continuous like a wave. And you go for about a minute and then you hold your breath. And after the 3 rounds, you're alkalizing your bloodstream to where essentially you're boosting your immune system. He actually went into it. This is scientifically proved, this method. He went into a setting where he was injected with E. coli, and I believe 10 other people were injected, and then other people were injected not doing the breathing treatment, and nobody that was doing his breathing treatment got sick from the E. coli.
Wow.
He has trekked up Mount Kilimanjaro in just shorts. He has got to the dead zone of Mount Everest just wearing shorts. He hung from 2 helicopters with 1 finger for an hour, like on a rope.
Wait, are you talking about Wim Hof or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Which awesome individual are you talking about now?
I cannot geek out more about this guy. My ex-girlfriend, huge hippie yoga nut. She's the one that got me into it. And man alive, like I love when I catch myself at a certain point a day and I do a breathing treatment, and by the end of it, my entire body is vibrating. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, a little bit. Yeah.
Well, more John, because he's done it. But yeah, good. I'm glad you know too, right?
Well, I exercise. I know the power of, or had some good sex. I know the power of getting your breath under control.
Well, we're gonna
never
send you the
concentrate
link
on it like this.
Well, you should try it, Ryan.
I shall. Wim Hof. And is this 2 different words? Capital W, capital H.
It's his name,
right?
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
First name and last name.
Got it. Yeah, I'll look that up.
Where is he from?
He's from like the Netherlands. Yeah.
I would be very surprised, Ryan, if you can make it through his 11-minute YouTube and not laugh. So just knowing you,
give it a go.
You won't be able to take it serious for one bit.
Yeah, I swear I'll try. 11-minute video.
If your body temperature is changing and your hands and feet are tingling, that's
okay.
And the funny thing was, when my ex-girlfriend showed me the Wim Hof breathing, she didn't tell me anything about it. She just hit YouTube, and we're laying on the bed together, and I thought she was trying to kill me. I'm like, wait, what? What I know of meditating, this is nothing like that. It's very hands-on and scary your first time when you're like, am I dying? So actually, when he said, if your body temperature is changing and your hands and feet are tingling, that's okay. That was a huge relief for me in that moment.
Yeah, it's true, because I almost passed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're just like
you're hyperventilating for a minute straight, and then you breathe all of the air that's in your lungs out, and you hold your breath. And the first one is for a minute, and then a minute and 30 seconds.
Which I never in my life thought I could hold my breath for a minute and 30 seconds, but I can't. You know, it's amazing.
With all the breath out of your lungs, too, you can do that?
Yeah. And that's what he's all about, explaining that you're alkalizing your blood and you're getting all of the carbon dioxide out of your lungs, and you're able to hold your breath way longer than you ever think you could. The goal, when you see more of his interviews, the goal is to get to 2 minutes. That's what you're shooting for. And when I do it anymore, I don't listen to the recording, because essentially when you're hitting that minute mark, and you just hold your breath as long as you can until you feel the urge to breathe. And then I mean, do that YouTube. It's good shit. It really is.
Yeah.
Here,
Change your
I
life.
thought you guys were going to tell me about like Dr. Pimple Popper or something. I'm like, all right, I can hang with it.
Got those too.
Yeah.
But all these things that Wim Hof is proving, the biggest one that blows scientists' minds is he sits in ice baths, and he'll go outside in really, really, really extreme conditions. And after like an hour, his core body temperature has not budged an inch. He is still right there at 98 degrees, which is insane. Like, literally mind over matter. It's unreal what the guy does. And it kind of came from the fact that his wife committed suicide from depression.
That's right.
Yeah. And he's made it his life's journey and mission to show people that you have the control to be able to rid inflammation and keep yourself healthy. And it's also a very good antidepressant. If you start doing it on the usual, you do feel better.
Very interesting. I'll check them out.
How exciting that you're doing that too, Matt.
Yeah.
Who would have ever known? Here we are. We both grew up very religious, and then we got away from it, and now we're following Wim Hof.
Yes. Our Lord and Savior.
Well, but to your point, John, like you end up searching for something that's going to give you a type of direction.
It's funny we're talking about this, and I know that, John, you said something a little bit ago about what we're up to. Essentially, for the last 2.5 years, I've been sober. And when my story comes up, when it's time for me to dive into why I'm sober and, all of this, I talk about the chameleon aspect of my personality, where I was so into all these youth group things, and I had very strong religious beliefs, but I also smoked cigarettes and played music with this whole other group of people, and I would hide God from them, and I would hide them from youth group people, and how that kind of developed my personality to the point where never being authentic and being way too concerned about what other people thought of me, and all of the anxieties that came with that. I'll have you know, John, that for 2 years now, I have not pitted out once. Once I got sober and I got down to these character defects and what makes me actually tick, and getting things off my chest finally and not having to worry about them, I don't pit out at all, and it is hilarious.
I still have a picture of our graduation, and it was the biggest pit out you've ever seen in your life. It was most of the shirt.
It was.
You've never seen armpits sweat like this.
I don't mean to laugh.
No, I wore a light gray T-shirt under my graduation gown, just knowing it was going to be bad, and I just walked around taking pictures with everyone like, what's he doing these days? I'm sure he amounted to a lot.
I should get that picture. I still have it somewhere around here.
Oh man, that's too funny.
Well, that's super cool, man. I am very proud of you, and that's interesting too. I mean, the things you find out,
Oh yeah. The 12-step program is universal. Yeah, it could definitely give you a lot of insight. And the whole name of the game is, clean your house, find a higher power that you can believe in, and help other people. That's all it is.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask too, was kind of the larger question you're touching on, Matt, is what do we keep from church? What do we keep from Christianity, even though we've moved on with our lives. I certainly think about this all the time, looking for some direction.
Yeah.
This is repeat that again. Clean your house,
trust
be good
God,
to people.
trust God, clean house, help others. That's kind of like the quick saying. I would still consider myself somewhat an atheist. I don't feel like I've had a Sermon on the Mount or anything like that. But I will say that the program is about having a spiritual experience. So religion is for people who are scared to go to hell, and spirituality is for people that's already been there. And that's kind of how I look at it. What I keep from those religious days, it's kind of like the Jeffersonian Bible. Thomas Jefferson took out all of the miracles and all of the superstitious craziness that's in the Bible, and pretty much redacted it to the teachings and lessons of the prophet Jesus of Nazarene.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like what Jesus actually said, and pretty much that's it. Be very cool with everyone, and that's the important part.
Yeah. That's cool. So you said you would go to youth group, but then you would go to your band, and wasn't that Ryan? Weren't you part of that band?
Indeed.
Oh yes,
I was the one tearing Matt away from God.
It was you
helping him.
What is your thoughts on Beets?
Like Beets the vegetable?
Yeah, we're gonna do a reoccurring segment starting now. Where we talk about
I remember growing up, and my mom would give me these Beets out of a can, and I thought, wow, these are absolutely horrible. I hate Beets. I was like, I know in my head I hate Beets. Turns out, I found out much later in life, I was eating pickled beets. I wasn't actually eating real beets. When I had a real beet, I was like, wow, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
I love beets. I love beets now, even though I don't eat them that often. But so I love beets. There you go.
Yes,
how would you describe they taste, John?
Yes.
Like a rich man's potato.
Okay.
That's so perfect. That is so perfect.
Yeah.
We decided that it's actually the food of lovers. That
because of the color.
Yes. The color, the primal nature of the flavor. Your taste buds elope with it. It's just it's the perfect package. I can't imagine. I don't know the nutritional value of beets, but I'm sure it's skyrocketed.
Anything with that color is got to be good for you.
Yes. Like blood itself.
Right.
John, I did listen to your music that was listed as well in your Facebook account, and I want to thank you for Parcells. That's a good band.
Yeah, man.
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Have you heard them before?
No.
Oh, they're cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're super cool. Chromeo. You're the one who introduced me to Chromeo, Matt, because you did that video where you're dancing in that building. I thought that's really, really funny. And then I was like, wow, but this music is super cool. And ever since then, I've fallen in love with Chromeo. I've gone to several of their concerts here.
They're awesome live.
And then my wife and I actually named our cat Chromeo, so we got a Chromeo.
Nice.
Yeah,
he's a little Durskin.
Oh, the babies, little baby Chromeo, little baby with the belly. Keep going. I'm sorry. I thought we were all going to join in on cat loving for a second, and I was, going to do my own love language for cats.
Oh yeah, everybody has it, and I mean the Durskin. That was my first cat. Just the kush language.
The kush. Yeah, that was more than a language. That was a religion in and of itself. Actually,
it was. It really was. Yeah. That was the beginning of the cheesing, and that's what brings up that ability to just lose it and make your hands go numb and just can't make a fist.
Right.
Yeah.
John, I told Matt, I was like, this theme song, you've been working towards this moment your whole life. That's how funny
Yeah.
this is. Like you somehow channeled all that energy into one song. And I'm so happy that it exists.
That 3-part harmony at the end.
Oh, God damn.
I
Excuse my language.
tweaked it. I tweaked it a bit.
I mean, really, I couldn't even laugh. I was just staring at the wall.
Right.
That's how I intend to trap the listeners.
Yeah.
Put them in a catatonic state.
Yeah, I think that's a great plan. It's gonna work.
Yes, it's worked so far. It's got you on the show.
That's right. That's right.
You're listening to You Don't Know Them, and that concludes part 1 of our conversation with Jon Atkinson. Part 2, recorded the very next day, will start right now. I do want to state this on the record. It's the Wim Hof Method, not breathing treatment. I kept saying breathing treatment. I said it like 7 or 8 times.
You said it so much that I was wondering, is it called breathing treatment? You actually were starting to convince me that I had it wrong, you know?
The Third Reich propaganda, say a lie so many times that it becomes the truth.
Yeah. I didn't know you were operating under that, but very interesting. Very interesting. It works.
A student of history, John.
Not operating under that. That's not what this is about.
This is not a Nazi podcast. I just
God,
put that out.
That's good.
my mother actually had a question as well for you. This is this is a request.
Yeah.
I talked to her and I told her, like, she was like, so what did you talk about? I said, well, I would say that the conversation took a turn when we started talking about Oral Roberts, Mom. And she goes, oh, really? And well, we spoke on it a minute. And she goes,
Yeah.
her question is, as far as it goes with the cult, like,
Why did you?
Gave her an idea why.
That's a great question. Why? Yeah.
That's it. She just kept on going. Why? Like, just shaking her hands.
Most people do. Yeah.
No,
what was the question?
To give her story, she went to a Methodist school where they said, you're never allowed to have any boys spend the night at your dorms. So what they would do, these ladies on their level of dorms, they would just sign themselves out for the weekend. I'm going home, quote unquote, and then they just go stay with their boyfriend's house, and everybody knew it, right? So were there any examples of that kind of behavior going on at Oral Roberts? Like, did any secular living make its way to you guys, or were people, most of the students there, that serious about their studies and their vocation?
Ryan, it kind of sounds like the question is, did any of that secular loving get in there?
Yes, that's exactly what my mother was asking.
That's a good question. So I would say probably 75%, were full in it, obeyed the rules. And then I wasn't part of that group really. We had curfews. You couldn't go into each other's dorms. There was girl dorms, boy dorms. But you would sign yourself out. There was always somebody that had an apartment or something off campus. So there was, there were parties. It was everything. It was just workarounds, really. I mean, that's the silly part about it is people are going to find a way to do whatever they want to do. It's just, they're going to get around the rules one way or there was a lot of that.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Now, so my follow-up is Oral Roberts had electricity then. So this whole time I've been thinking it's, horses and buggies and candlelit studies in your dorm.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for all the insightful talk about a university I never thought I'd ever think about ever again. It's really nice. I find
You guys should visit.
I'm
Yeah.
into this. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to go to Minneapolis, but I will go to Oral Roberts. Where is it?
It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Quite nice. Quite nice. I find that I'm a bit silly in the AM. I'm having my coffee. I'm not really contributing anything seriously to this conversation.
Well, you had your breathing technique today, yes or no? Or were you just
Ooh, here we go. The Wim Hof Method.
Yeah.
You should
No.
cut that. You should
Ryan
cut that
did
out and put it over the breathing treatment thing that you kept saying yesterday, so that you're pronouncing it right. You're saying it right.
Yeah, so I would just be sitting there, and I don't even have to turn on the Wim Hof Method.
I love it.
Yeah, so Ryan did it last night, or this morning, or sometime. So all three of
You
us have
did?
now outdone.
Yeah, I did.
The Wim Hof Method.
Well, what did you think? How did it go?
Was pretty much like we described yesterday. I was on my back. Hard to do for the first 2 rounds, and then by the third, you're getting the hang of it and being able to hold your breath all the way as close as I could. Admittedly, like I couldn't hold my breath ever for the whole minute and 30 seconds. But absolutely, it would awaken your nervous system all the way through your wrists into your hands,
Yeah.
and into your legs. I thought about the dentist actually, because when I've been going there lately, that they your nerves are on high alert while you're there. That's how it feels in this weird way. Somebody kind of getting the plaque off of your teeth. Not to compare it to the two, but like. I guess it's just what it reminded me of a little bit, but I don't feel all that differently, but I can kind of see we're doing this every single day or even twice a day. You would reap its benefits. It was certainly cool. Everything that you guys described really did happen. But I almost wish we didn't talk about it, because as soon as the guy goes, and listen, if you feel the tingling in your hands, that's okay. Like that took me right out of the shit. But really, it was really cool. Really interesting stuff.
Well, I think you can do a really good impersonation of him if you give it a few more listens, because that was pretty spot on.
Yeah, it was. That was really
That
good.
is Scandinavian, whatever. Like it sounds like Arnold, but I can't exactly place the country. It sounds like Norwegian, maybe. So there's a correlation between how cold things get around you and the amount of breathing that you're doing. You can be able to warm up your blood. Am I understanding this somewhat?
No,
correctly?
I mean,
no,
that's extreme. Like what he does is really extreme. The Wim Hof Method is not about teaching you how to stay outside in negative degrees for an hour in your underwear.
Right. That's
just
hoping.
him. Yeah, that's just him.
Yeah.
Essentially, what he's telling you is, taking cold showers and doing this breathing treatment every day is going to make you live in a better manner. Less depression, less inflammation, less sickness. You'll feel healthier. That's it. That's the end game. You don't have to get all crazy about it.
Plus, you learn how to, that you can control your body, which is a real. It's a great lesson.
Yeah.
No,
I kind of take to this just because, like, what we were talking about earlier with the...
Well, the big 1-2 punch is when you add masturbation into the breathing method. And you're really kicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And vigorously. I mean, there's There's no half-assing it, man.
Yeah.
All
That would be a TED Talks. That would be a really interesting TED Talks.
Yeah, that will be my contribution. I just get out there and just start jacking it, hyperventilating.
Until you in front of a stage with one of those cordless mics, but you're just
Now hold your
naked.
breath. Come on, everybody, do it with me now.
As Wim Hof is getting covered in ice. Slowly.
Right. It's okay.
If you don't have any lotion at home, it's okay.
It's okay. Both of them just naked on stage. One getting filled up with a tub of ice.
Oh, man.
That could be the Wim Hof method with penis treatment. We could add treatment in there.
Finally, we can say treatment.
Center your breath. Hey, John, you when did you go to Las Vegas? I had seen a picture.
Oh, yeah.
No, I asked because Vegas was
I love Matt's reaction.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Well, we have such a different approach to this where I just show up ready to have a conversation, and Ryan's doing these deep dives into your Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I do like the two. Yeah, I like the both approaches. Actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So go ahead. I'll try.
So
to
wait,
keep it down.
you're saying why? When did I go? And what were you saying? You went recently or what?
Yeah, just asking when you went.
Yeah. Gosh, when was that? Well, that would have been at the end of 2018. So that was the first time I've ever been to Las Vegas, and it was fun. It was a little cold though. It was a little cold, but yeah, it was fun. I was with my wife. It was my girlfriend at the time, and then we went to the Grand Canyon after Las Vegas, and I proposed to her at the Grand Canyon. So on that trip, I had this whole idea: I'm going to propose. So,
my time, like the vacation that I went out there, was a memorable one. It was over 10 years ago, but I definitely was quite taken by that town and how weird and, just a town that just drips in excess. It's a lot of shit there. I know that might be, just like I would be damned if I found an honest person the entire time I was there. I'm like, I've never seen just a bunch of lying bastards this entire time. Because it was.
Were you trying to buy horseshoes or something? I just need to find an honest man to get me back home.
We've been lucky to go on several trips in the last couple of years. So my wife is from Colombia, and then I went to Colombia for the first time last year before everything started to close down, and that was
Columbia, Idaho.
That it's always confused with Columbia, Idaho. Yes, but we're talking about the actual country here.
I'm not familiar.
Well,
yeah, please tell us more about that.
Yeah, elaborate.
I've never been to South America.
Yeah, it was my first time there, and it was it's just such a different experience. It's so cool. People are so kind there. But we flew around a lot. So we went to Bogota, which is the capital city where my wife is from. And then we went to the coast and went to this Tayrona National Park, which looks like a real live Jurassic Park. I mean, it's unreal. I've never seen something so crazy and beautiful in my life. But it was we were hiking, and just a lot of weird different adventures, I guess, that we went on. But I think the scariest, so I haven't been super scared where I thought I'm gonna die. I don't know if I've ever had that feeling before, but I did in Colombia, because we were at this Tayrona National Park, and it was getting towards the end of the day. We need to get back to this coastal town. Anyways, you had two options: either hike back and take this bus, which was not ideal. It was a horrible ride, small bus, cramped, took forever to get back, or you could take a boat to get back. So I thought, oh, let's take the boat. That sounds like a great idea. So we booked the boat and we get back. We had to ride a horse to get back to this boat in time because we couldn't walk anymore. So we got a horse and we rode on. Yeah. We get to this boat, and this boat is the sea, the ocean is, the waves are crashing, and this boat is probably 20, 30 feet out. So there's about 30 of us that are going to get on this boat. And they say, okay, everybody, we're getting on the boat. There's no order at all. And the waves are crashing, and there's only one other guy from the U.S. ahead of me, and he gets on first, and he gets thrown off. And his shoes go flying in the air, and he's falling in the water. And I think, this is insane, I'm getting scared. And we finally get on this boat anyways, and the waves are crashing. There's no order, like I said. And then we start going, and they go, lean to the left, like we're going to tip over, And so I'm panicking, and we all lean, and that's what kept the boat together, is that everybody would lean to a certain side so that we didn't flip over. It was I remember looking out into the and thinking, oh, it's so beautiful, that might be the last thing I see.
Oh my God.
It was pretty scary, but then we were obviously fine.
How long was the boat ride to get from one place to another? How long was that intense boat ride?
Oh, it was about 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But it was intense. Yeah, it was scary. Really scary.
The 15 longest minutes of your life.
Yeah, that's
right.
Insane. Did you have to swim that 30 feet out from shore to get to the boat?
No, it was still shallow enough. It was weird because the waves were crashing in pretty hard, but it was shallow enough that you could walk out there, and it kind of came to almost to your waist.
Uh-huh.
But it was wild. Here we're so used to, you go out on a dock and, kind of step onto a boat. You're in the ocean, climbing onto the boat. And the waves are crashing on you, and then, that's how you got on the boat. So it was pretty wild.
Wow. Mm. And wait a minute about this horse too. It was someone, you had to take a horse with your wife, but you didn't just take the horse and then tie up the horse and say goodbye. Did somebody ride? Did someone ride? Yeah.
No, so we had gone back to the campsite where we were staying, and they had the option to ride a horse back. So this guy was kind of leading these horses but we were so exhausted. Really, I couldn't even take another step, and we were carrying this huge backpack, and we had to make it to this boat in time. And so that was why we're we should just get horses. So that was. So.
Did you milk the horse for sustenance?
I tried. God knows I tried.
No, sir. Why you do that to the horse?
What an accent.
No, sir. That's my Colombian accent. No, sir. I am from Colombia.
What an accent. That's great. No, sir. That's funny.
No, that story's awesome, man. That's really wild.
I mean, there's so much about that trip. I mean, that's everything we're bringing up could be another hour-long conversation. But, just to keep it short, it was crazy. And it was, it was definitely, that part was super scary and very memorable. Yeah. Something I will never forget.
Yeah, those near-death experiences, they stick with you. They stick with you.
Yeah. But it's really cool down there. Beautiful, friendly, a lot of fun. if you ever can go, you should go.
I would like to, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
I'm willing to get in a plane and go anywhere at this point.
Well, we were supposed to go again next week, but we've canceled actually 2 trips so far because of COVID and quarantine, and so.
Have you had COVID? Have you kept safe this whole time?
Yeah, we've taken it pretty seriously, actually. I mean, as far as staying at home, and so no, we haven't.
No.
What about you guys?
So far, so good.
Yeah, same here.
Knocking on wood, I have not had a cold for a year now.
It's the same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wearing a mask everywhere. I'm not getting that every 3 to 6 months a sinus infection or what I usually would get any other year.
Well, there was a band called Clinic, and they would show up wearing surgical masks. They were popular in 2006. And I just like ever since all this shit started, I was like, yeah, doesn't anybody remember that band? Like they dressed up exactly what we all look like now.
I remember them coming out to the stage with that tuba just doom doom doom. We're here to vaccinate you. We're clinic. We're clinic. We're here to vaccinate you. This is us with masks. Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
I'm crying. Oh my god.
That was a no hand, no fist making song for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a talent of yours, I think. That's funny. Well, no, I've never heard of Clinic before.
No, me either. I don't recognize that band at all.
No.
I never really listened to a lot of their music, but I remember the look.
Okay, so was that you, Ryan, just drinking water?
Yes.
Yeah, there are a few moments, and I cut them out, obviously, but when I was listening, it was, I just soloed it, and just, like, it was half a second clip, and listened to it over and over again. The most disgusting water sound you could possibly imagine in the middle of the interview. Like, just...
You know what? There's at least one time I noticed that, and I hope you keep it in. Actually,
Oh, God, I'm conducting interviews with this half gallon of milk that no longer exists. It's just filled up with water. So I'm literally drinking.
No, that's even
jug.
better. You're drinking. You're drinking a gallon of milk. Like,
I really thought that's what you were saying. That you're drinking milk right now.
keeping the vocal cords loosey goosey. Got my goat milk.
It's nicely warmed.
I got it sitting on the radiator to get it at a good temperature.
Oh God, that's funny as hell. Sorry, I'm an absolute pig out here.
No, I mean that's just what you notice with editing. Like,
Right.
It's
we
real.
want the listeners to know that we're human.
Speaking of humans, John, you have a son. And he's
Yes.
11 years old.
Always, these questions are always perfectly led into. You know,
Beautiful segue there. Oh, jeez. But yeah.
wait, was there a question there? You were saying what now?
I guess. I just I was curious, like, what it is to have a child when you're 25. I could not imagine.
Man, I don't even know how to describe it. You know, it really is different to become a parent. I mean, you have to be patient. You realize kind of like as the child grows up, you know, like I would drop him off at school and I'd realize sometimes he's like, drop me off down here. Like he's embarrassed, you know, like I never thought like, you know, I'd be like, I was embarrassed of my parents at sometimes, you know, and it's funny to be in that position. Like, he's a little bit embarrassed, you know, maybe because I'm wearing this crazy Hawaiian hat, you know,
Mhm.
Like, it's just funny to be in that scenario all of a sudden. And also I still feel pretty young. So you're like, this is hilarious. Like you kind of appreciate, you know, I'm like an old guy to my son, you know, and maybe slightly embarrassing. Yeah.
Jon, I wanted to say thank you very much for taking time out of your week to talk to us and give us the chance here. Thank you.
It was an absolute blast, my friend.
Yeah.
Absolute blast.
Man, when you first told me about it, I thought, what a cool idea. And then this has been a real pleasure. I love it. I'll do this anytime.
Thanks, Jon.
And us in Colombia, we are very happy to hear.
I love it.
So with that being said, you have been listening to You Don't Know Them, interesting conversations with interesting people from Chicago, Idaho, all the way to Columbia, Idaho.
Sweet.
That's right.
You guys have
Thanks
a good day.
a lot again, Jon.
All right,
yeah,
you
you
too.
too, man. Take her easy, man.
You don't know them. No, 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 no. You don't know them. Interesting conversations with interesting people. You don't know